Recording in progress.
Good morning, Masi. I see it's 1 minute past 10. Can you just confirm if we are ready to proceed?
Yes, we can proceed, Chairperson. Good morning to you and honorable members. We can proceed, Chairperson. We are just waiting for Julius to also just join in as well. Thank you, Chair.
Well, a very good morning, honorable members of the committee, staff, and any officials that might be present as well, any media watching this meeting. We welcome you to this meeting we have today on the 25th of June. Members, today is almost, I want to call it an internal meeting. We are considering and deliberating on the adoption of the budget vote report. So there are no presentations from outside parties. You have all received the agenda to that effect. I would like to just ask Masi to now flight the agenda that we can move for the adoption of it. Masitole, can you please flood the agenda for us? Thank you very much. Members, there you have it. You can see that there's only one agenda item that needs to be dealt with today. As I mentioned, the consideration, deliberation, and adoption of the budget vote reports on the Department of Public Service and Administration, the Government Employees Medical Scheme GEMS, National School of Government, and the Public Service Commission. Members, can I please ask that for a mover for the adoption of the agenda? I see Honorable Kaba's hand. Honorable Kaba, please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. I rise to move the agenda to be adopted. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Members, may I please have a seconder for the adoption of the agenda? Honorable Members, can I please have a seconder for the adoption of the minutes? The agenda?
Chair, I will second. Honorable Potgieter.
Thank you very much, Honorable Potgieter. Duly noted. And if there are no other objections, then we can move ahead with the agenda as flighted. Seems like members are still just organizing themselves and getting their coffee ready. But it should not be a tough meeting today. These reports are the result of the presentations we've seen in committee. They've been well worked through, and we look forward to Julius presenting them to us. Before we move on, apologies that has been received is Honorable Letlape, who has noted his apology. We also have Honorable Matutu and that is back with us, and we say thank you because we do realize that he's still recovering, but I see he's online. Thank you very much for that.
Chair.
Yes, Honorable Kaba.
Sorry to interrupt you, my chairperson. So we must recognize the apology of Polwane.
Yes. 100% right. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Polwane has got a standing apology. She's also recovering, and we also wish her the best in her recovery process. With that, honorable members, if there are no other apologies to note, we can move on to the third item, which is the consideration, deliberation, and adoption of the budget vote reports for the Department of Public Service and Administration, the Public Service Commission, the Government Employees Medical Scheme, and the National School of Government. I now hand over to Julius to please assist us with these reports and the adoption thereof. Julius, please go ahead.
Okay, Chair. I'm just trying to log in, Julius, into the meeting. If you can just, we request that 2 minutes of your time, Chair, so that he can manage his gadget. Chair, then we take it from there. Apologies for that.
Absolutely no problem. Honorable members, let's just give Julius a minute or two to just get online, and we will then just wait for that. Thank you. Masizoli, are we winning? Is Julius online?
Yes, Chair, he will log in right away, Chair, but I think perhaps I can start with one document in the meantime, so that when he arrives, then he can catch us on the way, Chair.
Yes, I think that's good sense. I don't have a problem with that. If you can start us off, then as soon as he joins, he can take over from you.
No, the Chairperson. Good morning to you, Chair, and good morning to honorable members and colleagues. Chair, we will start with one report. We'll start with vote 11, DPSA. Let me just expand it a bit. I just saw that Julius has just logged in. I don't know if it's audible from his side. Julius, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Masi. Thanks. Through you, Chairperson. I'm make sure my laptop is performing here. So my apology for that. I've just logged in with my phone for now while the laptop is restarting, but we can still proceed. Masi will project from his side.
Absolutely no problem, Julius. It's only 12 minutes past 10. We still have time. I think we have enough time to work through these reports diligently, so please go ahead.
Okay, Chair. Yeah, thanks. Good morning, Chairperson and honorable members. My apology once more. We are presenting the report of the Portfolio Committee, report on for the vote for the budget vote 11 of the Department of Public Service and Administration. Masi, you'll just go. I will just go through page by page. I won't read. If members have made corrections per page, they will just indicate. If you can just run page by page, Masi.
Noted.
Yeah, page 1. Then we are on page 2. Page 4. Then page 5. Oh, 6, page 6, yeah. Page 7. We are on page 8. I mean, page 9 now. Yeah, on the budget allocation. Yeah, just to highlight, just wait a bit, Masin. Just to highlight, honorable members, that since there was no any budget adjustment, so the budget still remained the same, like the previous the first budget that the Minister of Finance has tabled in Parliament, and Parliament approved the second budget on the, I think, and recently now in June. So there was no any changes, like even the department have highlighted that in their meeting. Yeah, we can move. Page 15, yeah. Again, it's the same thing on the CPSI. It's the same budget. There are no changes that have been made. Okay. Yeah. In terms of the observation, yeah, I'll just read through, honorable members, the observation. I think that's where most of the inputs from honorable members that were made from the meeting of the 23rd and the meeting that we held last week. So we tried to incorporate all inputs that members made to the strat plan and the APP of the department through the observations and recommendations. With regard to the observation and key findings, honorable members and the chairperson, we are saying the portfolio committee identified the following matters in relation to budget vote 11, to which the department must respond accordingly. The committee knows the strat plans of 2025, 2029, and annual performance plan 2025, 2026 of the Department of Public Service and Administration and the Center for Public Service Innovation. And the APPs reaffirms the department's mandate to implement and coordinate intervention aimed at achieving professional, ethical, and developmental-oriented public service capable to deliver on the objectives of the medium-term development plan of the national development plan NDP 2030, and with the center facilitating and replicating innovations to improve service delivery. 9.2, the committee commits to fast-tracking the finalization of the Public Service Amendment Bill and the Public Administration Management Amendment Bill, which are expected to introduce reforms such as devolution of human resource management functions from executive authorities to the accounting officers. And once enacted, these bills will improve the political administrative interface and ensure that public administration aligns with the professionalization framework. This is just to emphasize, since honorable members, we are quite aware that you haven't dealt much with those two bills, but the bills currently, they are, just to refresh members, that those two bills are currently with the National Council of the Provinces. They are almost at an advanced stage to be referred back by the Council of the Provinces to the National Assembly and back to us if there will be any amendments. And these bills they were dealt with by this committee in the sixth Parliament. So we are expecting some amendments from provinces and the National Council of Provinces. Yeah, so just to highlight that. With regard to 9.3, the committee knows that both strat plan and the annual performance plan under program 2, human resource management and development, are aligned with chapter 13 of the national development plan and the medium-term development plan goals of building a professional and capable and ethical state. So if members still recall, last week the department have indicated that they've only made one amendment in the strat plan and the APP on program 2, so that they can align that priority. The priority, I think they've removed a target on the leave management with a new priority that is aligned with the chapter 13 of the NDP, because that particular target, they are almost done with a report. So they felt that the best way is just to remove it on the APP. So with regard to the 9.4, honorable members and the chair, the department, we are saying the department has rigorously monitored all national and provincial departments, including public entity, in the implementation of the national framework towards professionalization of the public sector. Such monitoring will instill a culture of compliance and provide early warning sign for non-performance. So since this meeting has been the national framework has been implemented. There are a number of what do they call? There are a number of guidelines that the department have issued to the departments so that they guide them in terms of the implementation of the national framework. So in the meantime, then they are also monitoring the department. So we are just emphasizing that they should continue and as well monitoring the compliance with regards to the national framework. So with regard to 9.5, we then say the committee welcomes the introduction of a monitoring tool to assess the implementation of the professionalization framework, and the department must report to the legislatures on the outcomes of this monitoring. So we here is just to make an emphasis again, members, that it should not just be a monitoring tool for the department, but should then assist legislatures across the provinces as well to table such kind of reports in the legislatures, so that they understand if the provinces are adhering to the national framework towards professionalization, which emphasize the issues like merit appointments in across all spheres of government, including entities. With regard to 9.7, the committee knows the establishment of the tax team to support departments in implementing the skills audit methodology, which aims to identify and address skills gaps for improved service delivery. The department is advised to consider the findings of the Public Service Commission report on the qualifications of senior managers in guiding these audits. So it's just to say, since well, there is they are busy drafting this skills audit methodology, but they must also take into consideration what the PSC report says around the qualifications of senior managers, so that it can guide the process with regard to the skills audit in the public service. So just to emphasize that we should not just ignore the work of the PSC, but also take into consideration that some kind of work has been done, so the department can just uplift from where the PSC left, and then consider the report as part of the skills audit. With regard to 9.8, the 9.8, we say, since the president's 2019 announcement on lifestyle audits, there has been progress in departments conducting such audit. And the amendment of the Public Service Regulation in October 2023 has made lifestyle audits mandatory. However, the committee notes inconsistency in implementation across departments. So if members recall, even when we're in Northwest, the committee knows that in Northwest, they said they are conducting a lifestyle audit for only the head of department and CFO and supply chain management, if I still recall from the oversight report. So and then in Gauteng is completely different picture. You go to Northern Cape as well. You go even with the national department. Some departments have conducted the lifestyle audit, whereas others, they haven't conducted the lifestyle audit. So I think the main point is just to emphasize the consistency around the lifestyle audit. Okay, with regard to 9.9, the department has to involve a special investigating unit, a special investigating unit, and the hawks in the lifestyle audit process, and review the related guidelines for lifestyle audits. If I would, and the approach taken by other provinces of involving these bodies seems to bear fruits of uprooting corruption in the public service. Okay, I think I've managed to join on the other budget. Let me use the other budget on my members.
Yeah, very good.
Julius, you broke up. Just
Yes,
now, can you repeat, please?
yes, I was
Okay,
wanted to check something to share through you, Chairperson. Julius, are you going to flight the presentation on your side now?
no, just let's carry on with this one, then I will do it at a later stage so that we don't delay the meeting again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Chair.
where the approach. Okay, 9.9, the department has to involve special investigating unit and the Hawks in the lifestyle audit process and review the related guidelines for lifestyle audit. And the approach taken by other provinces of involving this body seems to bear fruits of uprooting corruption in the public service. And the use of ethics officers within department is welcomed. However, it might compromise the objectives of the lifestyle audit. Yeah, I remember in Northwest, they were saying they are going to conduct the lifestyle audit, but they are going to use the ethics officers. Ethics officers, honorable members, is the same thing like uh, I'm employed in parliament, and then I'm expected to to conduct a lifestyle audit over my seniors, of which hence we are saying it might compromise, because if other provinces they are only using ethics officers, then the whole process, as much as it's not about policing, but the whole process might be compromised. So we are just trying, honorable members, I think through your inputs, to say the department must not rely much on the ethics officers. At least there must be another way of doing it better than, like, even Gauteng. I think they've involved. They had that board where they've included even the former public protector in the board, where they look into the entire thing of the lifestyle audit within Gauteng, in terms of the officials that are employed in Gauteng, rather than just using ethics officers. Yeah. So with regard to 9.10, the department has to effectively involve the Public Administration Ethics, Integrity, and Disciplinary Technical Assistant Unit in the monitoring of the implementation of the guidelines for lifestyle audit across government. Within the department, there's a unit called a Technical Assistant Unit, that was supposed to be the unit that will oversee the entire government. If you go to the Public Administration Management Act, this unit has been given power to play a role in uprooting corruption within the public service, but the unit has got capacity issues. So, but we are just saying this unit should oversee the entire process of the lifestyle audit, together with either department or provincial office of the premiers. So they must just look so that all government department conduct this lifestyle audit, since well they have been made to be mandatory. It was just to emphasize that particular point. With regard to 9.11, the committee welcomes the development relating to the monitoring, the utilization of central register for verifying disciplinary processes against public servants, to ensure that those officials who have been found guilty of misconduct and have been barred from re-entering the public sector. So the department, in their strat plan, they've indicated that they are going to develop this central register for verifying the public servants who have been found guilty for any form of discipline, so that they should not resurface somewhere in another department. I think even Honorable Ndamase also emphasized on that. I think on the meeting of the 23rd, that there is this crisis where so and so has been found guilty, but then the person re-emerged somewhere in another department. So that central register will then assist department in terms of when they are vetting, then they will say this person has been found guilty in this particular department. Yeah, with regard to 9.12, the department has to develop intervention to address prolonged disciplinary cases, especially those lasting over 2 years, including appointing panels of labor law experts at the national level to fast track these cases. Just to refresh members, when we were in Northwest, if they still recalls, there were cases that they were over almost 5 years, and people are sitting at home the disciplinary cases are not being concluded, so you don't know what. So the committee here, we are trying to say, uh, uh, if there are any cases that go over 2 years, because normally a disciplinary process should only take 90 days, of which is a period of 3 months. But most of the cases, they even go beyond 2 years, and it costs the state a lot of money. So we are the committee, through your inputs, honorable members, we then said we let's propose that any cases that goes beyond 2 years, let's have, as much as HR has been decentralized in government, but maybe a centralized process can try to resolve a whole lot of cases that goes beyond the expected time frame as per they need to look at that and have experts that can at least try to fast track all these cases in national and the provinces. Yeah, so that then they get concluded rather than just people just sitting at home and earning salaries, whereas they are not doing much. Yeah, with regard to 9.13, the department has to monitor, and I think we'll just have to remove, there are two monitors then. The department has to monitor compliance with Section 14 of the Public Administration Management Act 2014 across government, which require the use of ICT to enhance service delivery, and adequate support and funding for digital transformation is essential. So this is if we look at in terms of Section 14 of the Public Administration Management Act, all departments are required to use the ICT to enhance service delivery. So it then supports the idea of digitalizations of the public sector, because in the act, in the provision in the act are there that government should leverage on the ICT to improve their service deliveries. 9.14, the committee acknowledged the department leadership in driving digital transformation. uh, uh, in driving digital transformations.
Julius, we've lost you. You are not audible. Can you hear me? Julius, you are not audible. Can you hear me? Masi, can I maybe suggest that you take over until Julius has reestablished his connection?
Okay, Chairperson.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
And yeah, and Mas, you can go to 9.16. I was just reading, I think 9.15 is in relation with, I think, 9.3. We'll just so this policy,
Julius, can I please ask you to just maybe stand up and move to a different position? If you can just see if you cannot maybe get better reception, because we are missing you. You are as you're talking, you're breaking up. Can you just maybe take a minute and just see if you can't get better reception, please?
okay, Masi?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, for Center for Public Service Innovation, we can move down. Yeah, with regard to 9.17, the committee knows 9.17, Masi. The committee, we are saying with regard to the Center for Public Service Innovation, the committee knows the CPSI capacity constraints and insufficient budget, which hinder its ability to effectively drive innovation projects. And the CPSI must be capacitated to fulfill its role, particularly given its shared service model. With regard to 9.18, as government pursues digital transformation, the CPSI must expand its presence in all 9 provinces by opening satellite offices to assist with the digitization of provincial government services. And then 9.19, the Minister of the DPSA has to fast-track the appointment of a Chief Executive Officer for the Center for Public Service Innovation. 9.20, the committee urges the CPSI to replicate its successful strategy of paying service providers within 5 provinces across all government departments. And with regard to 9.21, the committee knows that the CPSI observation that poor ICT infrastructure in many departments, particularly in healthcare facilities, may hinder digital transformation. With regard to 9.22, budgetary constraints limit the CPSI ability to expand innovation solutions such as e-recruitment to government departments and municipalities. And the CPSI is encouraged to collaborate with all offices of the Premier to showcase replicable innovations that can improve service delivery. For the government employee medical scheme, the committee knows GEM's financial sustainability and stress the importance of ensuring healthcare access for all public servants, including those unable to afford private cover. With regards to 9.24, the GEMS is encouraged to conduct an independent customer satisfaction survey to assess member satisfaction with its services. And this will provide an objective feedback to improve delivery of services and strengthen trust. 9.24, the committee knows that a high number of public servants are diagnosed with hypertension, which may affect productivity. And GEMS has established a disease management program to address this concern. So it's just to note what GEMS has told the committee, that most of the public servants are experiencing hypertension, and GEMS have developed an intervention with regard to that. And with 9.26, honorable members and honorable chair, the committee commends GEMS' efforts to reduce co-payments on medical claims. That's what GEMS have notified the committee, that they are trying to minimize the co-payments with the members. And then 9.27, the committee raised concern regarding GEMS' integration with the National Health Insurance Scheme, and GEMS assured the committee that it's not all NHI provisions have not all NHI provisions have been enacted, and there is currently no adverse impact on the scheme. Masi, if I can ask you to remove S, so that just here on the immediate, sure. Not all, thank you. And there is currently no adverse impact on the scheme. So if members recalls, I think this matter was thoroughly deliberated on the 23rd of April, where members asked about the impact of the NHI scheme if government will then implement the entire act. So with regard to 9.28, GEMS is urged to strengthen internal controls to eliminate fraudulent and wasteful claims, which are estimated to cost over 5.8 billion annually. So this is what GEMS have told us, that they are, on an annual basis, they are almost losing 5.8 billion on fraudulent and wasteful claims. So the committee is urging them to strengthen their internal controls. And then 9.29, the committee notes and commends GEMS' record of processing claims within 30-day period. If members recalls, I think the chairperson, Dr. Sten, I would say Dr. Sten because Honorable Langa always say Dr. Sten. Yes, emphasize on that particular point that they don't have any outstanding payment over 30 days. So of which that information was not verified, but we believe that they can't lie to Parliament. With regard to the recommendations, honorable members and chairperson, we are saying that the recommendations of the committee are as follows. 10.1, that the Department of Public Service and Administration enforce and monitor implementation of norms and standards across government to promote good governance and a capable, ethical, and developmental state, and provide Parliament with an annual compliance report. So this is what the committee, forgot even one member raised this, that the department is at the center of government, therefore they must also play a role in monitoring the compliance of their norms and standards, so that they should not, we should not leave this to the Public Service Commission, because the Public Service Commission is only monitoring the principles, the values, the principles and the values essentially right in Chapter 10 of the Constitution. So, but if the DPSA can play its role of having a monitoring report, then we'll be able to they will be able to promote good governance, and as we are striving towards building a capable and ethical and developmental state. So that is the essence of this particular recommendation. And 10.2, we are saying the DPSA should prioritize the filling of critical vacancies, particularly at the senior management level. So members, we know the DPSA currently don't have even a DG, and there are other DDGs that are acting. So we are just encouraging that they must fast track the appointment of such positions. 10.3, the DPSA should monitor the appointment process and turnover rate of accounting officers in the public service. So again, they should also monitor that process, the appointments of new DGs or head of departments, and the turnover rate, so that we understand what is going on in the public service. Again, 10.4, the DPSA should rigorously monitor the implementation of the professionalization framework in all departments and public entities. So that's what they also emphasize in Program 2 of the department, that they will be monitoring the professionalization framework. And then 10.5, the DPSA should enforce mandatory skills audit in departments after a defined period to identify gaps, training needs, and inform customized learning and development. Then any possible duplication. I think here it was even Honorable Potgieter, the point, I think that was in the meeting of the 23rd. Yeah. You can move, Mercy, to the 10.7. Again, the 10.7, the co-funding, the DPSA should co-fund the Maponya Tuition Service Center with the Gauteng government to ensure its long-term sustainability. For sure, Honorable, they will remember this when we were in Gauteng, those the members that have participated in the oversight, that the DPSA and they were anticipating to hand over Maponya Tuition Service Center to Gauteng government, but then normally when they hand over, they don't hand over even the budget. So I think the main point is just to emphasize that that model of the Maponya Tuition Service Center is a working model. So they rather DPSA co-fund that model together with the Gauteng department, instead of just handing it over without any funding. So that was just to make such an emphasis. And 10.8, the DPSA should ensure implementation of lifestyle audit guidelines across all government departments, and audits must include follow-up actions and consequence management, not merely serve as a compliance exercises. So they just to emphasize that they must be, because if departments are conducting lifestyle audits, but then there are no consequences and no one is making any follow-up then this exercise might just be seen like as if we are just submitting financial disclosure framework and say people have submitted, but there are no consequences. So this should not fall within the same the trap of the financial disclosure, but the lifestyle audit should be more punitive, where the officials and the officials knows that when there's a lifestyle audit, I mean in future others they won't be able to be tempted to conduct any unethical thing in their departments. But if there are consequence management, people will be able to refrain from any misconduct in their respective departments. With regard to point 10.9, again, it's just to also emphasize that the DPSA should involve the SIU and HOGS in the full value chain of lifestyle audits, and benchmark against successful models used in Western Cape, Gauteng, and Northern Cape. So these three provinces, they've already conducted their lifestyle audits, and they were sort of successful. There were officials that were being handed over for the police to further investigate. So we are just saying this is the kind of the lifestyle audit that members of parliament, for sure, they would want to see across all government departments, where the lifestyle audit are more identifying any form of corruption in the public service. So we are encouraging the DPSA to involve the SIU and the HOGS, because they are more knowledgeable, and they've got experts around these particular issues. So again, even not just to outsource to any private sector, but to keep it within government, because we do have the institutions that have got the capabilities to conduct such a lifestyle, or even to guide the process with regard to the development of the guidelines on the lifestyle audit. With regard to 10.10, we are saying that the DPSA should empower the public administration, public administration ethics, integrity, and disciplinary technical assistant unit to monitor and report on lifestyle audit implementation. So this unit should then look into the entire government as to whether the departments are in their APPs, are they planning to conduct this lifestyle audit? So this should be the responsibility of this unit, and then guide in terms of the guidelines as well. So, but we are saying this unit needs to be empowered so that they can be able to assist with the monitoring and even in the implementation of the guidelines on the lifestyle audit, so that department should not be coming back time and again to say we couldn't understand the guidelines. So it's just to emphasize that they need to be empowered. With regard to 10.11, we are the committee is saying the department should develop a strategy to address the long-standing disciplinary cases, including centralizing the process in the DPSA and using a labor law expert to expedite resolution. So it's just to again emphasize that there is a need to centralize those cases that are been on the system, but they are not been concluded. And the best way is just to centralize so that expert can fast track those such kind of cases. And then with regard to 10.12, the DPSA should continue leading the public service digital transformation and shifting from paper-based to digital administration. So this is just to emphasize again the issues of the digital transformation in the public service. And then for the Center for the Public Service Innovation, honorable members, where the committee recommends that the CPSI improve stakeholder management to ensure replications and uptake of innovative solutions across government departments. And then again, 10.11, the Center for Public Service Innovation should develop a national innovation dashboard to track and showcase CPSI projects across all 9 provinces and using offices of the Premier. And then 10.15, the CPSI or ensure the CPSI is adequately resourced and capacitated to fulfill its mandate in a shared service environment. I think it's just to support the idea of they must have satellite offices in the provinces. And 10.16, the Minister of the Public Service and Administration should fast track appointment of the CPSI Chief Executive Officer. So it's just because this is the responsibility of the minister, though the appointment still has to go to cabinet, but the minister should then push towards the appointment. But we know that they said they are at an advanced stage of appointing the chief, but just to emphasize it in the report, honorable members. 10.17, the minister and the DPSA CEO must engage with the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure to secure appropriate office space to support business model of the center. If members recalls, the acting CEO have indicated that where they are based, the office environment does not support. I think they're in the DPSA offices. The office environment does not support their business model, so they need a much more, even if not a bigger office, but an office that can support their business. So with regard to government employee medical scheme, 10.18, the GEMS should conduct an independent customary survey to assess whether members of medical aid are satisfied with the various products offered. A satisfactory survey administered independently will provide the schemes with an objective view on members' satisfactions with the aim of improving its services. Honorable members, on this particular point is just to also emphasize again that if an independent satisfactory survey has been conducted, unlike what the doctors then has told the committee that they do have the satisfactory survey members, they do provide, but if these surveys are sometimes administered in-house, in most cases, they tend to be subjective rather than being objective. And we know very well that there are so many members of public servants that are so dissatisfied with GEMS. So if this survey can be conducted, a whole lot will be revealed with regard to the administration of GEMS. But it's not to say like we suspect something, but there's not. But we have received even from the committee. I think there was a letter from how that was written to the committee with regard to the dissatisfaction around administration of the medical scheme. So, but we believe that if this can be open wide to members of the public, then we'll learn more about what needs to happen because of is the members that they are using the medical aid, and then the scheme, the GEMS is just an administrator. So, but then they need to take a view from its own members, because I mean it's the members that they pay, and then they are self-sustainable. They are not being funded by any taxpayers' money, but they use the money from their through the contribution from members. So I think this satisfactory survey is very important, honorable members. With regard to 10.9, we are saying the GEMS should continue making efforts to reduce the co-payment of medical claims. This is just to emphasize, as much as they are saying they are reducing that, but also we just emphasize that they should also continue with their efforts to reduce such kind of co-payment. 10.20, the GEMS should strengthen internal controls to eliminate fraudulent and wasteful claims, preventing the estimated annual loss of 5.8 billion. So that's exactly what we just wanted to say. And then we then made a conclusion, honorable members. It's just a short conclusion. We didn't want to be long on the conclusion because the report itself is too long. And then we said that the department, the DPSA and its entities are central to building a capable and ethical developmental state, and professionalizing the public sector through reskilling and reforming recruitment practices is essential. And the NDP emphasized stabilizing the political administrative interface and making the public service a career of choice. And the committee acknowledged the progress made by DPSA, CPSI, and GEMS in delivering on their mandates, and calls for continued support, innovation, and accountability in pursuit of an efficient and citizens-focused public administration. Yeah, then at the end, this is only when the report, if members approve, when then we say the House adopt and approve the budget, vote 11 of the DPSA. Yeah, thanks, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable members, and still apologize for the delay. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Julius, for taking us through the report. Um, Masi, am I correct in saying that the procedure will now first call for members to deliberate and make comments and make suggestions on perhaps changes to the report before we move for adoption? Would that be just confirm that's the right procedure?
Correct, Chairperson, yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members, we then have an opportunity now to deliberate on the reports that was delivered and presented by Julius. If I can ask for hands for anybody who would like to suggest any changes or make any comments on the reports as they have been presented.
Mercy. Can I share from myself through you, say, Chairperson? Mercy, can I share from myself so that I can run it? Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, I see we have a hand from Honorable Potgieter. I will let her proceed while you switch the presentation rights to Julius, and then if any changes are necessary, Julius, then you can affect those changes. Honorable Potgieter, please go ahead.
Thanks, Chair. Just to compliment Julius, I see he's learning us very quickly. So a couple of the clauses I would have commented on, he's already made provision for them in clauses that follow it. So thank you for that. My one point was the funding of the centre by the DPSA. I'm just a bit concerned by that point, particularly because the DPSA, the PSC, etc., don't receive a lot of funding. And that's something that we are, busy discussing at the moment. Considering that those centres actually house a number of, departments within them, surely that funding should be split amongst them in order to assist, with running those centres. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Potgieter. Do you have a suggestion on how we can perhaps reflect that in the report?
Chair, from our side, it would seem that these departments are obviously benefiting from the centre itself. They are able to get a lot more work done, and they, in particular, have very large budgets. I don't see why there cannot be a discussion on them contributing towards the cost of the centre, in their different parts. Thanks.
I'm happy that comment be added, Julius, so that did you get the broad of it?
I think I got it. I'm trying to, if with regard to 10.15, through you, Chair, and honorable members and honorable Potgieter, that where if we can amplify this one where we say ensure the CPSI is adequately resourced and capacitated to fulfill its mandate. If we can add that government department, there must be a certain percentage of government, I don't know, percentage of the budget of the departments. Where is that? Yeah.
It's not that point. It's the point where you refer to I forget the name of the centre, but you refer to a particular centre, and that the DPSA must help the province fund it.
Okay, it's on the DPSA.
Yeah. There we go. You just went past it. There, number 10.7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I do think because there are various departments that operate within that centre, that it should be the responsibility of those departments to help co-fund it, not the DPSA itself, because their budget is extremely limited. And that's a discussion that we've had over several committee meetings. It would not be fair for us to then say, now they must take what limited budget they have to fund a service centre that is actually, to the benefit of other departments that have available budget for this sort of thing.
Okay. So the department providing services, okay, in the Tucson service centers should co-fund. I mean, it should not be only the Gauteng with the DPSA should co-fund should co-fund.
Oh, that makes sense.
Would the co-funding be with the DPSA? I thought the provincial government was funding it.
Okay, I think let's say and the provincial department, because the DPSA because within the province there are provincial departments, and
You could just change it to say at the beginning DPSA departments and provincial departments,
okay.
just to make sure that it's clear.
Oh, let's say department, then we know we are referring to the and provincial. Yeah, the department here we are referring to the DPSA, and provincial departments providing services in the Tucson service centers should co-fund the centers to ensure its long-term sustainability. I don't know if it sounds well.
Honorable Potgieter, are you happy?
Chair, I'm just worried because if I remember correctly, there was the Department of Labour was also in there, which is a national department, unless it's a provincial competency that's housed there. That would be my point, is that there are national and provincial departments within the Tucson Centre. Now, the previous clause stated that the DPSA must co-fund it. Why must the DPSA co-fund it if it's national and provincial departments that are housing their resources in that centre?
Oh, I 100% agree. So we can just maybe say national and provincial departments.
Yeah.
That should cover it.
Okay. Is it fine?
Honorable Potgieter?
Perfect. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Kalishe, I see your hand. You are welcome to engage.
Chair, I don't know. I think I just need to put it on record. A few comments based on the budget that is in front of us. Because especially this one of DPSA we're dealing with right now, I think it fails. I think we need to highlight that it does fail to address the systematic inequalities in the public service. I don't know if it is reflected in this report. I think we need to highlight that, because there are wage disparities between the top management and the lower management. For example, program 1, Chair. Okay, I think I had a problem there with my phone. Program 1, Chair, allocates the almost 300 million for administration. And this includes the high salaries of executives, while the frontline workers remain underpaid. I think we need to raise that, Chairperson. And despite the repeated promises like lifestyle audits and corruption that persists, there's still no clear consequences for guilty officials. So I see the budget allocates 82 million for labor relations, and it's just about they allocate only 82 million for labor relations and anti-corruption measures in program 3, which is insufficient if they want to tackle about 5.8 billion lost annually to fraud. I think that needs to be raised as well. That if the budget allocates 82 million for labor relations and anti-corruption measures, and they want it looks very insufficient to tackle the 8.5 billion that is lost annually on fraud. And maybe, Chairperson, we cannot highlight the budget for e-government, right? Because the budget for e-budget was cut by 7.2% in real terms. Yet the report boasts about modernizing services. And I don't know how they can digitize or succeed that without funding. How can digitization succeed if there's no funding? And we've been asking, Chairperson, that rural clinics still use paper files. And we know this. While our government, and we raised it over and over again, especially as the EFF, that this government wastes money on outsourcing. There's a lot of money that is lost on outsourcing, and that is why this digitization is as slow as it is. And I think we need to highlight that. And another thing, I think I'm justified, Chairperson, to be confused seeing GEMS operate like a private scheme, because it continues to exclude the poorest of the poor of our public servants. And maybe the NHI is mentioned, but GEMS remains separate, right? And it looks like it is favoring the elites, in my view. I think we need to highlight this dual system that is taking place, and maybe demand, a better system that is going to accommodate the health, the public servants when it comes to that, because there is this dual system that is happening with this government pushing for NHI, and then we still have GEMS operating separate. I don't know. I thought I raised that, Chairperson. And maybe another important issue for me is that the budget claims that it prioritizes young people and the youth, but it only targets like 30%, which is far below it's not even half of what we're faced with in terms of like the crisis we're facing of youth unemployment, because it is 60%, the unemployment rate, and it only targets like 30% representation of young people. I thought I raised those issues, Chairperson. I do find it that it undermines the service delivery with all these budget cuts. I think this government needs to know that as we've raised it, and the Commissioner for PSC has raised it, that these budget cuts are actually affecting service delivery. And I think I know we all see why. Then you find out that over 50% of these budgets will focus on administration and nothing is left for service delivery. I thought I raised those issues, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Khaleesi. You're well within your rights to raise all of those issues. Julius and Masi, I'm going to just ask a little bit of guidance here. So it sounds to me like the Honorable Member has raised some comments that is that could be added as comments to the report, but also other comments which are reflections on the budget itself, which is perhaps better reserved for the budget debate in Parliament, where we vote on the budget. So I'd just like some clarity, if you could maybe guide us on how we deal with the comments of the honourable member, which ones need to be noted in the report and which ones should be reserved for the budget debate.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Masi.
Okay, so Julius, you can proceed.
No, you can carry on, Masi.
No, I was going to say, I think you are quite correct there, Chair. Some of the comments can always be tabled during the debate. And I think some of the things that Honorable, some of the points that Honorable Xilisha is raising, they were the issues that were highlighted into the meeting of the 23rd. I think Julius is also just trying to highlight those that are critical into the report. We always encourage honorable members not to perhaps bring new recommendation into today's meeting, because we had already had an opportunity for honorable members to be in a position to raise issues on both on the 23rd and the meeting of the 18th on the report. However, I also agree with you when you say perhaps some of the comments can be raised, particularly on budget, can be raised during the debate, Chairperson. Thank you, Chairperson. Maybe Julius can also add from his side.
Yeah, just to add, I think that the last point by Honorable Xilisha on the dissatisfaction of the National Treasury cutting budgets throughout. I think every sector is feeling the National Treasury, and even the chairperson of the PSC was also frustrated. But I believe if we make just a recommendation on that particular point, just only that one point, Honorable Xilisha, you'll bear with us. I think that is the message that maybe during the debate, because if we just put it as it is, and if you look at like we have indicated in the CPSI, that the budget is not enough. I think even with the PSC, we are still going to talk about, but we are trying to be specific. But then that statement, we know that all sectors, including defense and everyone, the government cut across. So if we just put it here, I think it will be better if when the members are debating, and then they can just raise such in their speeches. If we try to, and then we in the report we just talk to even an entity within our sector has received such a budget cut like CPSI and the Public Service Commission. Maybe if we can just be specific, but then generally, then the statement, maybe if that can be raised in the. We are not saying we don't want it to be in the. Not to say we do, because this is the members' report. It's not our report, but we're just advising that maybe let's put that in the members can put that in their speeches as they will be talking about the entities within the sector. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you, Julius. I see the hand of Honourable Malinga and Honourable Xilisha. Members, maybe just to echo what has been said by the staff members, that is the traditional way that it has been done. But obviously, members are 100% within their rights to make any comments and give any additions at this stage. Honourable Malinga, I don't see your hand anymore. I don't know if you've if your question has been answered. So I'm going to move on to Honourable Xilisha to please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think it must be reflected on the report, Chair. And I say this because if government is not aware of this emphasis, if we're crying about the same thing and these things are reflected in our speeches but not in our report, maybe they think that it's okay what they're doing. And what Treasury is doing is not okay. The budget cuts are not okay. So they must be reflected in our report that is not okay. It can't be a by the way thing that we put in our speeches. It must be documented that we are unhappy with their practice, what they do all the time, cutting budget that affect service delivery. So it's not a by the way thing. It's a very means that all the departments and all the portfolio committees must raise this issue and reflect it on their reports. Then it be like that because it's a serious issue. We're sitting with the that is taking money for service delivery and using money for other things, like askulume, we call it, because they find money for people to have conversations, but they don't find money for important issues like issues of service delivery. It must be reflected. I think it must be reflected, the Chair, on our report that these budget cuts are continuous and they are affecting service delivery. Thank you very much.
Okay. No problem. Honorable Malinga will give you an opportunity just now. Honorable Member, I think we must then take your guidance because you've said quite a lot. So you will need to guide us on what comments you would like to see added to the report. I have no problem with that. But Honourable Member, please just bear in mind that some of your comments is not shared by all members of the committee. So I don't have a problem if some of your comments specifically say that some members or a member of the committee felt a certain way. But we must also not mislead Parliament with comments that all members shared in exactly all of the points which you said. But I think we can just honestly and with the right wording reflect your comments. Honourable Kilesi, before I give you an opportunity to take us through your additions, I'm just going to give Honourable Malinga an opportunity again. He did raise his hand again. Honourable Malinga, can you just confirm? Is there something you need to add?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe let me greet everybody, Chair, due to the time constraint, all protocol observed. Secondly, let me apologize. I'm in the office, then these wife guys, they are still working here. So when you see me coming in and out, please bear with me. But I think, Chair, it must be recorded that in terms of the input from different members of the committee, I think that must reflect in the report accordingly. I can hear that it seems like some members, they are coming with new points where the officials of the committee feel as if they are not making justice on their side. But there's nothing stop the members of the committee to reflect whatever report that is here in front of them. Number two, I will do agree with my colleague. It has been the song of this committee from the day we joined this committee that this cutting of the budget is not helping us. I think I will make one example with the PSC. They've go to town with that issue, that they even share with us that how much they need currently for them to sustain their department. So I think there is no harm, Chair, and the leadership of the PSA, to put that information in the report, because surely the three principles of the current government, which is called the GNU, with the cutting of the budget, we are close to 2032. So I don't think that they will meet their target that have been put on the table.
So, Chair, I was trying to emphasize that to dealing with the issue and putting it in writing in the report, this situation of cutting the budget, I think it's very important that let's emphasize it and request the team to put it in this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Mlinga. I certainly agree with you in principle, and I have no problem to move on that basis. Before we return to Honourable Kalishe, so she can take us through the additions, I see Honourable Langa's hand is up as well. Honourable Langa, you are welcome to open the mic.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and greetings to colleagues and everyone on the platform. And Chair, please do excuse me for my voice. I think this flu has also caught up with me as well. No, Chair, I think yourself and Honorable Malinga have partially covered me on what needs to be reflecting on this budget. Excuse me. Honorable Felicia raised a number of points that I'd like to believe that some of them we are in agreement with as a committee. But some, I think, because as committee members, we carry different mandates from our parties. So like you have said, Chair, I think some of them can reflect on her debate on the day when we'll be debating on this budget. However, I think those that we're in agreement with, they need to of course reflect on this budget here. I think that includes, excuse me, the concern around the budget cuts by Treasury. There was a number of them. I can't remember all of them, but excuse me. I think that those that I remember very well that we as a committee were in agreement with. And also, Chair, my understanding as well is that the budget needs to reflect on what we as a committee, because there will be different views on certain points, but on what we agree on as a committee that these are concerns, then that is what needs to reflect on it. Then on the day of the budget debate, then we do then raise from the perspective of our mandates as members. Chair, I thought I add my 2 cents on that one, according to my understanding. And also, Chair, I'd just like to thank the support staff to having put this budget together. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Langa. I see Honourable Matutu has also raised his hand. Honourable Matutu, you can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Greeting. You hear me, Chair?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, thank you very much. Greeting, Chair, greeting colleagues, officials. Chairperson, I agree with some of members, also my colleagues. I'm covered by my colleagues because ever since we started this committee, it's the same song, cutting a budget. So I want to say that is not fair, because every cutting the budget, but I'm covered by my colleague and your chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Matutu, and it is nice to see your face. Thank you for turning on your video. We hope you are on the road to a full recovery.
Thank you,
Honorable
Chair.
Khaleesi, I think we've got overwhelming support in the committee to go ahead. Perhaps you and Julius can just coordinate, and we will listen in on the additions for the report. Bearing in mind that we need to just reflect which of the comments are minority comments and which are shared by the committee.
Okay, Chair. Okay, Julius will guide me.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to check with you through your chair, Honorable Khaleesi. The 10.4, if you are happy with the way it is crafted, or because I've mentioned that the National Treasury should account to Parliament. I don't know whether should I say account to the committee on excessive budget cuts that have had deep social and developmental consequences impacting on the provision of government services, such as staffing shortages in frontline departments.
Yeah, and service delivery.
Okay.
So it's staff shortages in frontline and service delivery, because it's not only staff that is impacted, also service delivery is impacted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is under recommendation this particular point, and then the points that you have, I've just highlighted them. I highlighted them in color or orange. I think the issue of GEMS, the committee was dissatisfied about GEMS operating like a private healthcare, sort of a medical scheme. Medical.
So in that instance, I think you can just add, Julius, that some members felt that not the committee members, some members of the committee. Thank you.
Okay. I'll move to the 2 points that you have raised, Honorable Khaleesi. You have mentioned the systematic challenges. I'll just read it the way I've captured it. The committee knows that the DPSA budget was unable to address systematic challenges confronting public servants, especially with regards to the wage disparities.
Yes.
And budget on Program 3 is insufficient to tackle labor-related matters.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Then 9.18, I think is, or just say, let's say the committee knows that Program 4 ICT was allocated insufficient budget, which might hinder government, I think it should be government efforts to strive
for digital
transformation.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think we shouldn't leave the issue of youth unemployment, because the budget claims that it prioritizes youth employment, but but only targets 30% representation, and we've got a crisis of youth unemployment in our country. The unemployment rate is skyrocketing, and I think we need to highlight that. And I think we if we're not demanding the 50% youth quota, it just needs to be. If we're not demanding, we're not agreeing as a committee to demand anything. But I think we need to raise it, that it is of concern that with the crisis of youth unemployment, the budget claims to prioritize only the 30% of young people or youth
Julius,
representation.
thank you, Honorable Khaleesi. I didn't want to interrupt your train of thought. I just want
Yeah.
to return to 9.18 before we move on to the next point. Julius, if we can just finish 9.18, I just have a suggested change there, and then I
Okay.
see Honorable Potgieter also has a hand up after that. So if I can just add,
Okay.
I would suggest Honorable Khaleesi, and if you are happy with the suggestion, that it reads the committee notes with concern that program for ICT might be allocated insufficient budget. And the only reason why I suggest that is it's more a comment to note, we really are concerned that this isn't too much money. Than stating it unequivocally, because it's just not as fundamental. So, Honorable Khaleesi, would you be happy with such a change?
No, but might suggest that we are unsure, Chair. We are sure because the departments did come to us, and we can even see in reality that there's no money for digital transformation. So it's not a might issue. It is a reality that these things are affected.
Okay, no, I'm happy with that. Honorable Potgieter?
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, just on the employment issue, and I don't know if this is better placed towards employment and labour and some of the other departments like trade and industry, etc.
Sorry, Honorable Potgieter, apologies.
Yeah.
Can I just, from members here, there's no objection that we then move from 9.18. We've dealt with that point, and we now move to the youth employment point, which Honorable Potgieter is raising now. Okay, I see no objections. Honorable Potgieter, please proceed.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I have a slightly different view. I agree with the fact that unemployment within the youth is a serious issue. But what I'm not understanding is the DPSA's role in solving the youth unemployment issue, because essentially they represent the employees within the state, and the state shouldn't become an employment agency. So I don't know if I'm comfortable with us, demanding that they up, numbers that they're not mandated or able to increase to that point. I suspect that this might be better suited towards other departments. But yeah, perhaps maybe we can engage on that. I just don't know if it's the sole responsibility of DPSA to solve that problem. Thanks.
Honorable
Oh.
Honorable Langa, I see your hand, and then Honorable Khaleesi can respond.
No, thank you very much, Chair, again for a bite. No, Chair, I think on that point of the target of the youth unemployment, I think it is what I was trying to refer to, excuse me, when I had suggested that some of the points we will be in agreement with as a committee, and some we will not be in agreement with. So I think this one is a point of debate, that a member, if that is the view of the party, then on her debate, then it would be a right platform maybe to reflect on it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Langa. I'm happy with that suggestion, Honorable Khaleesi, that your comment just reflects some members. I myself think that the DPSA has a role to play in looking at youth employment, although it is not obviously it's not the sole responsibility of the department. But we have heard in the committee that youth employment is a big problem, or youth unemployment, I should rather say, is a significant problem. So I don't mind a general comment saying that because it is such a big problem, that it should be prioritized. Julius, perhaps you can suggest some wording for us, and then Honorable Lisa can just
so can I clarify something, Chair? I'm sorry to
Yes, please.
just
Please go ahead.
interject. I wasn't saying that DPSA has got a responsibility to eradicate youth unemployment. I was by no means saying that. And it is a point of debate what Honorable Potgieter is raising when she says that the state doesn't have a responsibility to create employment. That I can agree because I disagree with that as well to a large extent. But I just needed to clarify, Che, that I wasn't saying that it is a responsibility of one department to eradicate youth unemployment. But I'm saying with the crisis that we're facing as the country, there should be more that they are doing than what they are targeting. That was what I was suggesting and raising, Chairperson. Thank you.
Chair?
Yes, Julius, perhaps you can suggest a
Yeah,
comment.
maybe before members comment on it, I just put it under the observation. In any way, if members recall, I think on the 3rd or 4th of June, we have received a report on the youth employment in the public service. So I think the DPSA is monitoring the appointment of young people, but they are not the sole responsibility of ensuring that the departments, because as they always say that HR is decentralized. But what they do is just to keep the stats in terms of learnership and then in terms of appointments. So I've suggested, Honorable Chair and Honorable members, that the DPSA should continue monitoring appointments and learnership program for the youth in the public sector.
Okay, Honorable Potgieter and then Honorable Langa.
Thanks, Chair. Just to clarify, it's government's jobs to facilitate an economic environment for employment. That's the greater problem. What I have an issue with is government becoming an employment agency. So in no way am I saying that government shouldn't facilitate youth employment. But I'm happy with the manner in which Julius has worded that particular clause. Thank you.
Honorable Langa.
Thank you, Chair. I'm covered by Honorable Julius.
Honorable Ndamase, I see your hand as well.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to the meeting at large. I'm also covered by Julius, but I also just want to caution the meeting because as we look into the report, this report is in relation to the discussions that were made in the committee meeting. And we may be making some amendments that are not going to change. That's my view. That must not change the spirit and the letter of the meetings held, so that we don't find ourselves rehashing or hashing the political party perspectives. That's just my caution, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That is duly noted, Honorable Ndamase. Members, I think that the suggested wording has now not been objected to by any member. So I think we can then move from that point. Honorable Khilise, is there additional points, Julius, which we need to add or amend, or are we now covered?
Covered, Chair. Thank you.
Wonderful. Members, thank you. This is what it's all about. We are a committee. We are a committee with various views, but I think the respectful way in which members have dealt with the deliberations on this report is highly respected from me as chairperson. So I say thank you to members for their constructive engagement. I also want to say thank you to the staff, Julius, Masizoli, and all the other support staff for all the effort that goes into putting a report like this together. Can I then just confirm, Julius, Masintole, are we happy to then move on towards the adoption of the budget vote report?
Yes, Chairperson, can proceed in that manner. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, members, I want to just make the distinction this morning. I'm going to move I'm going to ask members to move for the adoption of the report. But any political party can note that they reject the report now, or reserve their right to reject the report in Parliament itself, which is the normal practice. So the moving towards the adoption of this report does not mean that you support the report. It just means that we table the report and that it is duly adopted. But if you would like to note an objection or reserve the rights to vote for or against the budget report in Parliament, you are welcome to do so afterwards, after we've moved for the adoption of the report, just so that members are clear on their rights and what they can or what they can still add to the meeting. With that being said, members, I would like to ask if any member of this committee would please like to move for the adoption of the report. Honourable Langa.
Thank you very much, Chair. With all the members having contributed to this report, I move for its adoption. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Langa. That is duly noted. Honourable Kaba, I see your hand.
Thank you very much, Chair. I second the adoption of the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Kaba. Members, is there anybody who would like to make a formal objection or reserve their rights? Honourable Potgieter.
Thanks, Chair. Just noting that the report is a true reflection of the committee's submissions and thoughts. I'm sorry, I'm hearing somebody's child in the background.
It's not mine.
Just to note that we do support it, noting that it's a true reflection of what the committee has deliberated on, but the DA would like to reserve its rights in this respect. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chairperson, you must note also, may I raise the hand? I have signal. I'm at rural areas. I don't know, my hand is showing.
No, Honourable Matuta, I don't see your hand, but we will deal with Honourable Kilese and then with yourselves in that order. Her hand has been raised. So Honourable Kilese and then Honourable Matuta after that. Honourable Kilese.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I would like to reserve my rights, the EFF to reserve its rights, Chair.
Duly noted, Honourable Kilese. Honourable Matutu.
Thank you, Chairperson. As Umkondo Wesizwe, we reject this budget vote, the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Matutu. Your objection is noted on the report. Members, with that and with the reservation of rights and the objections noted and no other hands on the platform, I then move that the budget vote reports on Department of Public Service and Administration has been passed and duly adopted, as well as Public Service Commission, Government Employees Medical Scheme, and National School of Government. Can I just see an indication from Masikole and Julius that you are happy that the reports have now been formally and duly adopted and that all procedure has been followed?
Yes, Chairperson. Thanks, Chair. All is well, Chair. All is well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Members, once again, thank you very much.
Sorry. I think, sorry, Chair, before that, I thought Mazi will say we have to go through each and every report. I think we still have two reports, Chairperson. We have adopted the first report, the DPSA, and then we'll just go to the NSG and PSC, they are very short report.
Okay. So you say we have to move for those reports separately. Okay,
yeah, separately. Yeah. So each and every, because is a separate votes.
Okay, no problem. So we have adopted the Department of Public Service and Administration, the DPSA vote, and we now move on the report of the Budget Vote 7, National School of Government. Members, can I please see a mover for the adoption of Budget Vote 7 report? Honourable Kaba.
Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I move the report to be adopted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honourable Kalber. Before I ask for a seconder, I think it's Masizoli. Are you raising your hand?
Yes, it's me, Chairperson. Julius must still go through the report itself and also read the observations and recommendations. Then the members can then adopt after.
Apologies, that is my mistake. I did not realize that is a separate report which we still need to move through. Okay. Yes, the floor to you. We must then still deal with this report. Apologies for the confusion on my side.
Okay, Chair. Yeah, the first, this is the report, honorable members and Chairperson, of budget vote 7 of National School of Government. I'll just move quickly, Chair. The background is more or less the same with the DPSA. It's just about emphasizing which requirement should this department should meet with when they are tabling their strat plan and the APPs. And then I'll just move quickly. This is the overview of the NSG. And then what the medium term of the development plan emphasize, we just, borrowed from the MTDP and the State of the Nation address and the strategic goals of the NSG. Members will indicate on this if they have spotted some errors that need to be corrected. And this is just a budget analysis based on what the National Treasury has provided, and then it's before this committee for the amendments of the budget. And this is the table as they are from the National Treasury estimate of the national expenditure. These are programs. NSG has got only 2 programs, honorable members. As you know, I'll just quickly zoom into the observations and findings. With regard to the observations and the findings of the NSG, the committee knows the strat plans and APP for the 2025-2026 financial year of the National School of Government, and the APP contextualize the work of the NSG, which aims to strengthen the state capacity and build a professional, capable, ethical, and developmental state through education, training, and development. 8.2, the NSC continues to serve as a champion of knowledge within the public sector by fulfilling its mandate to provide and facilitate education, training, and development across the 3 spheres of government and state-owned entities and organs of state. The schools design EDT, which is education, training, and development programs aimed at introducing new skills into the public administration. 8.3, the committee knows that no individual may be appointed to a senior management position in the public service without completing the Nugela program. It further knows the high uptake of the Nugela program by both public servants and private sector employees since its introduction as a mandatory program for senior and middle management. The committee commends the school for designing the Nugela program, which demonstrates significant progress towards the professionalization of the public sector. 8.4, the committee knows the NSC appeal to Parliament to expedite the finalization of pending legislations that would enable government to enforce and implement administrative reforms aligned with Chapter 13 of the National Development Plan. The legislations here, honorable members, we are referring to the Public Service Amendment Bill and the Public Administration Management Amendment Bill, together with the Public Service Commission Bill. So those are the legislations that are before Parliament. So the NSG, because of they are the ones that they've crafted the professionalization framework, they've appealed that in order for that framework to be fully implemented, certain legislative reforms have to be finalized. Yeah, so that's the essence of that particular point. Then 8.5, the committee welcomes the decision by the National Treasury to allow the NSC NSG to retain savings from surplus for future projects, and it also recommends that such savings be used to develop a self-sustainable funding strategy or model. Members will still remember that there's a view that the NSG should not depend on the National Treasury allocation, but should be able to be self-sustainable by raising money through the training programs that they are providing to all government institutions. 8.6, the NSG is encouraged to consider implementing outcome-based education, training, and development courses by developing a matrix to monitor the performance of students, learners who have undertaken school courses. While the committee acknowledged the NSG progress in ETD, it highlights the need to assess the outcomes and the impact on trained public servants. Members will recall about that the matrix or the dashboard be developed to measure the impact of the NSG programs. And 8.7, the committee knows that training courses and programs offering have been adapted to a new hybrid model to reach more public servants across the country. And the NSG is encouraged to engage telecommunication service provider to improve the infrastructure necessary for remote training and development. I think it's in relation to those who work in deep rural areas. The network is a challenge, and it might hinder their prospect of attending courses through the NSG. The 8.8, the NSG should begin designing digital transformation courses for frontline departments with the goal of improving the delivery of quality public service. That's another point that was raised in the committee. And then 8.9, the committee encouraged the school to recognize and incorporate the principle of recognition of prior learning, the RPL, into the national framework for the professionalization of the public sector, rather than placing excessive emphasis on formal qualifications as prerequisite for senior management roles. A balance must be struck between qualifications and RPL. So that's what was discussed in the previous meetings, I think the 23rd, and then even the meeting that we held on the last week. And the committee will, the 8.10, the committee will continue to monitor the school to ensure that it offers predominantly accredited courses, providing trained employees with formal recognitions and opportunity for career development and promotion. And the school should continue to build partnership with professional bodies in an international aspect to ensure that accreditation of most, and to ensure the accreditation of most courses. 8.11, the committee recommends that the induction of board members across all government entities be made mandatory, with the NSG designated as the provider of such induction programs. 8.12, the committee notes developments in skills assessment reports from specific departments which aim to identify training needs and improve performance, and the school should tailor courses based on skills audit findings to enable departments to evaluate the return on investment in training. 8.13, the committee observed that the executive education could improve service delivery and foster professionalism if it is made compulsory for senior management to undertake programs in project management, financial management, and change management. This will support the professionalization of the public service at senior levels. Honorable Chairperson and honorable members, the recommendations that the committee made from the two previous meetings, with regard to NSG, is that 9.1, the committee is encouraging the NSG to develop a fully fledged funding model to sustain self-generated income through the trading account. And the NSG should also develop a repositioning strategy to align its mandate with the framework for the professionalization of the public sector and to expand its services across government. With regard to 9.2, the NSC should continue to identify compulsory training courses for all job categories within the public administration to support the professionalization of the public sector and its meaningful role in socio-economic development. The NSC should collaborate with the Department of Public Service and Administration and the Public Service Commission to ensure that all government departments and entities comply with the national framework towards the professionalization of the public sector. This includes developing a monitoring tool to track implementation. The NSG should implement outcome-based education training and development by creating an ex-ante performance monitoring matrix for students and learners who have undertaken NSG courses. The 9.5, the NSG should design digital transformation courses for frontline departments to improve the quality of public service delivery. 9.6, the NSG should ensure that the induction of board members across all government entities is mandatory, with the NSG responsible for delivering these inductions. And the 9.7, the NSG should continue to deliver most training courses through e-learning platforms where possible as part of modernizing operations and reducing logistical costs related to venues and travel. With regard to the conclusion, Honorable Chairperson, we say the NSG should continue to roll out courses and training programs relevant to government officials at all levels, from entry level to senior management and executive position. The school education training and development programs enhance the performance of the public officials and contribute to building a professional, capable, and ethical public administration. The NSC should lead with the ecosystem of public sector education and development. To reposition itself as a leading EDT institution, it must adopt a sustainable funding model to ensure its continued effectiveness. Thank you, Chairperson and honorable members.
Thank you very much, Julius. Members, it is now opportunity to deliberate or ask for additions. I will now take hands off the platform. Honorable Potgieter, I see your hand, and you can go ahead.
Just a note, the NSG advised during one of our sessions that there was an issue that they picked up with certain officials getting somebody else to write their particularly in your Inyokela admission program. Would it not be advisable to have a recommendation that suggests they investigate biometrics or biometric mechanisms for particularly remote training courses? A number of institutions do this when you write online exams with them. They have a biometric or facial recognition where your cell phone is utilized to ensure that you are the person that's writing that particular exam or course or whatever it is. So my suggestion would be to include a recommendation that they investigate biometric mechanisms, particularly facial recognition, for when officials write, these exams or partake in these courses. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Potgieter. So, Julius, I think you are already busy with it. Just investigate the possibility of authenticating members doing the new Kela program.
I don't know if it sounds well, Chairperson and honorable member.
If I may, on behalf of Honorable Potgieter, I just think we need to add in there that it says it must say due to identity fraud, so that it's clear why we are asking for it.
Introducing biometric to identify fraud.
Yeah. Perfect. Honorable Potgieter, can you just confirm that you're happy with the wording?
I'm happy, Chair. I would just maybe put at the end after school a comma, and in particular the Inyokela, what is it called? Program. Yeah, because that is something that they particularly mentioned.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Members, I see no other hands on the platform. Are you happy that we move for the adoption of this report? Honorable Kilese, I see your hand. You are welcome to go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I don't know. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, Chair, but I think even on this report, it is important to highlight that over 51% of this. I don't know. Members are of a view that certain things are at the point of discussion, but I think we all see that over 51% of this budget is administration, right, than the actual training. So I don't know, like the bloated administration and minimal training impact, if it cannot be highlighted in the report, Chairperson. I don't know, but it's very important to me, because then what are we doing is what is the school doing if all the over 50% of their budget is administration than the actual objective that they exist for. I think it needs to be highlighted on this report, Chairperson. I don't know.
Thank you very much, Honorable Khaleesi and Honorable Potgieter. I'll give you an opportunity just now. Maybe just Honorable Member to consider. So what you're raising is in general a very valid concern across government. I want to say in almost every department, with the exception being this department, because the National School of Government is actually one of the few departments that has the ability to raise their own income. And it seems like the messaging we've gotten from them is that they are financially sustainable, and that they make, despite the budget they get from government, they cover all their costs and grow their programs because of raising their own revenue. So I don't have a problem with it as a general comment. I'm just saying that with the specific report, it's maybe not that applicable. But let me first hear the views of Honorable Potgieter and Honorable Kaba, and then we can look at how we move it into the report. Honorable Potgieter.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I think what the honourable member is talking about is actually encapsulated in 9.2, but I got something different from it. Maybe I'm misinterpreting. But I think the training courses to make the public service more professional and to be able to deliver services better, instead of all of these. I think a lot of the programs within the school are compulsory, but they fail to actually service or provide training for better service delivery. I don't know if perhaps maybe the wording in 9.2 can be adjusted slightly, but I do think it's encapsulated in that point. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay,
Honorable
I do
Kaba.
see that. Agree with the honorable.
Honorable Khaleesi, I will give you an opportunity. I just want Honorable Kaba to please also have an opportunity. Honorable Kaba, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I was just suggesting that if the members, they still have more things to be put in, why can't we wait for the BRRR? Because we are still having a BRRR to be a table in this meeting, Chair. Because, Chair, last we're being deliberated to this report, and we did put amended things in this report, but now it seems like members, they are starting afresh to put it, to take out and put in it. I don't know. And remember, Chairperson, at 12:30, we must take our buses to Parliament, some of us. I don't know whether we'll be finished this, but my suggestion was that let's wait for the BRRR. Maybe the BRRR, because we will be put more things that we want to put. The annual report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Kaba. Honorable Potgieter.
I suspect that's an old hand, Chair. Sorry.
Okay, Honorable Khaleesi, you've heard the comments. Or you wanted to make additional comment?
No. I was saying, Chair, I see what Honorable Potgieter is talking about there on 9.2. I don't know how it can be, yeah, it can be worked around that, but I think it does maybe capture what I'm trying to get to.
Okay. Happy if sorry, Julius, I hear you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think the spirit of the point 9.2 is within the same. It's just a matter of how one interpret it. Because if we are saying there must be compulsory training courses that are earmarked for all job categories, then the point of addressing because if officials are not fully capacitated, then you will still get the mediocre services on the ground. But if there's the compulsory from whatever level 3 up until level 16, then every certain period, then these officials must go to these particular courses. And in that way, then we will be driving all job categories towards a particular aim, which is to professionalize the public service that will be able to deliver on its mandate. So I don't know if we have to rephrase it. I think it was just a matter of we're interpreting differently, but I think the Honorable Potgieter just spotted that one correctly, that 9.2 covers it. I don't know if members feel that we need to change some wording, but I believe that it just covers the essence of what members are saying, but we are saying it differently.
Thank you, Julius. I think that if there are no objections, then it sounded like all members are happy that we move ahead with the wording of 9.2, unless a member wants to object to that. So then we can move on. All right. Members, if there are no other... Oh, Honorable Kaba, I see your hand. Would you like to just add?
No, Chair. I was just raising my hands for moving the adoption.
Oh, okay. You're a fast mover.
Hey.
I'm just Honorable Kaba, just hang on for 30 seconds. Members, I think with no further comments or hands being raised, we can then ask for the adoption of this report on the National School of Government. Honorable Kaba, I will now give you an opportunity to move for the adoption.
I move the adoption, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, members. We have a mover for the adoption of Budget Vote 12. Can I ask for a seconder? Honorable members, can I please ask for a seconder for the adoption of the budget vote?
Chairperson, I have
Yes.
same problem. So you can you can recognize me.
Yes, Honorable Matutu, please go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't see your raised hand, but you are most welcome to comment.
Thank you very much, Chair. As Umkondo wesizwe, we are rejecting.
Okay. Honorable Matutu, yes, we will note your objection. Thank you very much, but we are still just waiting for a second.
Chair, this Matutu.
Honorable Ndamase.
Second, the adoption, Chair.
Thank you very much. Okay, members, that means with the seconding, the report on the budget vote 12 has now been duly adopted. Is there any member, and we have also heard from Honorable Matutu already that Mkonto Nsizwe objects against the report. Is there any other member who would like to note the objection or reserve the rights of their party? Honorable Kilise.
Please note me, Chairperson, to reserve the right of my party.
No problem. Your rights are reserved. Honorable Potgieter.
Thank you, Chair. The DA would like to reserve their rights as well.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you, Honorable Potgieter. Members, if there are no other comments or objections or reservation of rights, we can then move on to the next budget vote.
Okay, Chair. The next budget vote is in relation to the Public Service Commission. I will just move quickly, Chair, to the, I believe, unless if members will spot something, they will come back to us before we table this report on the if there's any grammar issues or anything that they will want to us to add, so that we are able to finish early. This is the Public Service Commission report. This is just the budget analysis. Also, with the new revised budget, the PSC didn't suffer any budget cut. Okay, up until here, Honorable Chair, where most of the business of the day is, with regards to the observation and the findings, the committee identified the following findings with regards to the budget vote 12 of the Public Service Commission. That the committee knows the strategic plan and annual performance plan for the 2025-2026 financial year of the Public Service Commission, and the strategic plans cover most of the functions of the Commission as encapsulated in Section 195 of the Constitution, and is aligned with the medium-term development plan of the National Development Plan. 5.2, the committee has concluded the initial processing of the Public Service Commission bill, which has been referred to the National Assembly, to the National Council of Provinces for concurrence, and the committee awaits the outcome of the NCOP legislative processes. And the bill seeks to establish a secretariat that is independent of government, thereby strengthening the Commission's independence. Once returned to the committee, if amended, it will be prioritized before the end of the 2025-2026 financial year. It's just to emphasize the importance of that bill, honorable members, that if the NCOP make amendment, then the committee will then prioritize for the finalization before the end of this financial year. The 5.3, the enactment of the PSC bill will require increased funding under the challenging economic conditions where departments are already experiencing budget cuts. Strengthening the PSC mandate and independence as envisioned in the NDP will require more resources and capacity. And the committee plans to organize a joint meeting with the Standing Committee on Finance and invite the Department of Public Service and Administration and the National Treasury to initiate discussion on the funding model once the bill becomes law. 5.4, the committee knows that only 11 million of the PSC budget is allocated to its programs, which is inadequate. The National Treasury must be invited to appear before the committee to account for the continued budget reductions to the commissions over the past years. 5.5, the committee acknowledged that the PSC has implemented several interventions that have saved the government millions of rand, particularly by addressing prolonged disciplinary cases, implementing anti-corruption measures, and the committee believes that the recovery of these funds should support the PSC investigation, monitoring, and evaluation functions as a means of expanding the Commission's footprint. 5.6, the committee urged the PSC to rigorously monitor the implementation of the professionalization framework, which is a key pillar for building a state capacity to deliver on policy commitments. High state capacity is strongly linked to a long-term economic development. 5.7, the PSC must accelerate the establishment of a database of technical experts to participate in a high-level selection committee responsible for appointing accounting officers and the chief executive officers across government departments and public entities. 5.8, the committee knows that the PSC has prioritized its oversight role in the implementation of the professionalization framework during the 7th administration, and this aims to ensure that all departments and entities adhere to the meritocratic public service. The monitoring tool being developed will enable legislatures to assess department performance in implementing the framework. 5.9, the committee is concerned that the PSC provincial offices are understaffed with only 5 to 10 employees per office. These staff members are responsible for overseeing all provincial departments where service delivery challenges are most acute. The limited staffing is insufficient to conduct effective monitoring, investigation, and evaluation. However, the introduction of Program 5, provincial coordination, is expected to address this issue, and the committee looks forward to engaging further during a joint sitting with the Standing Committee on Finance. 5.10, the PSC was encouraged to enhance its visibility at the community level by assisting citizens in accessing government services, and the use of social media should be considered as a tool to communicate the Commission's work and to stimulate public discourse. 5.11, the appointment of the Commissioner in the Northwest Province must be expedited to enable the PSC to carry out its functions in that region. 5.12, the PSC should collaborate with the Department of Public Service and Administration in the review and development of the advisory guide or circular outlining the role of labor relation officers in the public service. This guide will help to ensure that labor relation officers are adequately capacitated to address prolonged disciplinary cases. 5.13, the committee knows the PSC's frustration with the State Information Technology Agency regarding inefficient services, particular delays in the procurement of ICT equipment, which hinder the Commission's ability to fulfill its mandate. 5.11, the committee further knows that the PSC faces ongoing challenges in securing suitable office space for provincial offices due to inefficiencies within the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. With regard to the recommendations, the committee recommends the following to the Public Service Commission, that the Commission should engage the National Treasury on a business case to fund both the current Commission operations and implementation of the PSC bill once enacted. The National Treasury should ensure that a dedicated budget is allocated to support the bill as a means to strengthen the PSC mandate. The PSC should begin expanding the capacity of provincial PSC offices in anticipation of the extended mandate resulting from the bill's enactment. 6.3, the PSC should monitor the implementation of professionalization framework without fear of favor and submit annual progress reports to Parliament and provincial legislature as part of efforts to build a capable and ethical developmental state. And the PSC should, 6.4, the PSC should expedite the development of a database of technical experts to support high-level selection committee for the appointment of accounting officers and the chief executive officers. 6.5, the PSC should collaborate with the DPSA, the presidency, to amend the public service regulations, ensuring the PSC plays a clear role in the recruitment of senior public officials, including Director General, Deputy Director General, SOE, CEOs, and the board members, and other key leadership positions. 6.6, the PSC should initiate discussion with the Minister of Police Service on providing security for PSC commissioners where they face threats, enabling them to carry out their duties without fear. The Minister of Police Service, based on the security threats assessment, prioritize providing the chairperson of the Commission full-time protection services. 6.7, the PSC should collaborate with the DPSA in reviewing and developing an advisory guide on or circular on the role of labor relation officers to improve the handling of disciplinary cases in the public service. The PSC should intensify its communication strategy to ensure visibility on the ground and accessibility using various social media platforms to communicate its work as reported in Parliament and legislature. On this particular one, if you members check, and I know the PSC, they've said they are on social media. Yes, they are on, I think on Facebook they are, but and even I think on X, if you members check, I've never even seen the PSC on X communicating the work of the PSC and even other social media. Unlike if you look at the Zimbabweans PSC, they on regular basis they communicate on X, and then people start engaging the institution even on X, because all media platforms, even though some of the information might not take it as an official, but it seems to guide in terms of how they can improve its service, and they might even know more about other service-related delivery challenges that people are encountering in various provinces and even at national level. So this is, I think, this point trying to address that particular, but we don't want to, the committee didn't want to mention which social media platform, but if you look at X currently is everyone, they comment on it, and then there are more people, they are active on X because they know that it's a reliable social media platform if one wants to get the news. Yeah, so with regard to the conclusion, Honorable Chairperson and members, they were saying the enactment of the PSC bill into law and corresponding budget allocation will reaffirm the Commission independence and enabling it to perform its duties without fear, favor, or prejudice in support of effective and efficient public administration. And continued budget cuts undermine the Commission's mandate, hinder the full implementation of its function. The committee remains concerned about the significant reduction in the Commission's operational budget. Ongoing reductions by the National Treasury may jeopardize the government stated commitment to strengthen the PSC. So that's in conclusion. Thank you, Chairperson and honorable members.
Thank you very much, Julius. And I think it's worth noting that you very strongly put our objection towards the budget cuts at the PSC. Honorable members, I will now give an opportunity for hands, suggested edits or suggested comments for the report. Honorable Langa, please proceed.
No, thank you very much, Chair. I don't know if Honorable Julius can take me through to 6.4 again. There's a point where it speaks of PSC commissioners and security.
Okay, I think it's
6.6.
Yeah, 6.6.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think somehow when it says on providing security of PSC commissioners where they face threats, I think somehow it limits them, because my understanding is that their roles are very critical across, so I don't know, Chair, if, on the wording, just to say maybe as often as possible, because one might be protected where they have threats, but be targeted where there's no threats, So I think somehow if we can word that one correctly, because somehow I think when we had discussions, we all felt that commissioners somehow need to be protected at all times. Thank you very much, Chair.
Yeah, Julius, I think you can
Thanks. Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Chairperson. I think I get the point by Honorable Langa. And I've just deleted where the threat, and I propose that I delete even the following. It must just remain open for now, without even emphasizing the issue of the security threat, because I think all of them, they are commissioners, including the chairperson, and the Honorable Langa is quite correct that they are all performing more or less the same responsibility of work. So I'll just leave it as it is, like this, Chairperson, so that it just become clear without even preempting or conveying a different message, and then we allow them to have that discussion with the Minister of Police, if Honorable Langa is comfortable with it and the committee.
If I can just venture a suggestion for myself on 6.6, initiate discussions with the Minister of Police Services on providing continual and regular security assessments for PSC commissioners. Because I think that's in the spirit of what Honorable Langa has suggested, that it should be regular and continual assessments.
Okay.
Honorable
Is it fine?
Langa, are you happy with that?
I'm good, Chair. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Julius.
Okay, Chair.
Honorable members, is there any other additions or remarks? Okay. Honorable members, we then move towards the adoption of the report. Can I please ask for a mover? Honorable Langa?
Thank you very much, Chair. I move for the adoption of this budget report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Langa. Honorable members, can I please ask for a seconder for the adoption of the report? Honorable members, can I please have a seconder? Honorable Potgieter?
Thanks, Chair. I second the adoption, noting the reservations of the DA. Thank you.
No problem. Members, with that, the report has been duly tabled. I will then just ask, Honorable Potgieter has already reserved the rights of the DA. Is there any other party who would like to reserve their rights or note their objection? Honorable Kilisa?
Yes, please, Chairperson, if you can reserve the rights of
No
my
problem.
party.
Your rights of the EFF has been reserved. Honorable Matutu, would you like to add, or are you happy? Okay. I don't see anything from Honorable Matutu. With that, members, the adopt has been duly tabled and adopted, and we then move on. Julius, can you please move us on towards the next report?
I think it's the last report, Chairperson. Not I think it is the last report, Chairperson.
Okay, great. Confirmed. That was then the last report. Julius and Masizoli, can you just confirm that then settles point 3 on our agenda, that we have done all we should legislatively do, and that we can move for the adjournment?
Yes, Chairperson, that concludes the business of the day for the committee, Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your participation. I would like to just again give a special thank to the staff committee for taking us through this process. With that, we are done with the business of the day, and we can move to adjournment. I therefore adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much, members.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Chair. And honorable members.
Recording stopped.